Hajin stood in the great hall of the Nexaran High Court. Her blue skin looked pale under the bright lights. The 5 judges sat high above her, looking down with their golden eyes full of anger. Her hands were tied in front of her with glowing energy cuffs. The main judge, Master Cole, spoke in a loud voice that echoed through the hall. Hajin of the noble house of Rin, you have been found guilty of speaking against our war with the humans. You told our people that humans deserve peace. You even shared secret information with human diplomats. Hajin lifted her chin, even though she was scared. I only shared cultural information. I wanted to help both sides understand each other better. Silence. Master Cole's voice boomed. Your family has served in our diplomatic corps for 10 generations. Your betrayal brings great shame to them. Hajin looked to the side of the room where her family sat. Her father would not look at her. Her mother stared at the floor. Only her younger sister Dalmay met her eyes, with tears running down her blue cheeks. The normal punishment for such crimes is death, Master Cole continued. The crowd in the hall whispered. Hajin's heart beat faster, but she tried not to show her fear. However, the judge said, because of your family's long service, we have decided on a different punishment. He smiled, but not in a kind way. You love humans so much. Then you shall live among them, as their servant. The crowd began to talk loudly. Some laughed. Hajin felt cold all over. You are sentenced to serve as an indentured servant to a human diplomat for 5 Earth years, Master Cole announced. You will learn how wrong you were about these creatures. Your status, your rights, and your family name are all taken away. From this day forward, you are no longer a noble. You are property. Hajin wanted to argue that humans had outlawed slavery centuries ago. She wanted to say that this punishment went against galactic law. But she knew it would not help. The judges had made up their minds. Guards, take her to the holding cells, Master Cole ordered. Tomorrow she will be delivered to her new master. As the guards led her away, Hajin looked back at her family one last time. Her father still would not face her, but Dalmay stood up, ignoring their mother trying to pull her back down. Sister, Dalmay called out, stay strong. Hajin gave her sister a small smile before the guards pushed her through the doors. In the quiet hallway, she finally let her tears fall. In her cell that night, Hajin sat on the hard bed and thought about what would happen to her. All her life, she had studied human culture, fascinated by how they had grown from a primitive species into a major power in just a few centuries. While other Nexarans saw humans as dangerous animals, she saw their potential for good. Now she would live among them, not as a diplomat like she had dreamed, but as a servant. She wiped away her tears and sat up straight. No matter what happened, she would face it with dignity. Maybe, just maybe, this punishment would give her a chance to learn even more about humans, and maybe she could still help build understanding between their peoples, even from her new low position. As she lay down to sleep, Hajin had no idea that this terrible punishment would lead her to something she never expected to find: true happiness and love. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, author's note. Asterisk, asterisk. This story explores themes of justice, prejudice, and how love can grow in unexpected places. Written in simple English, it follows Hajin's journey from a privileged noble to a servant, and eventually to finding love with a kind human diplomat. Jai-Ho Park sat in his office on Earth's orbital station Alpha, reading the message again. He could not believe what he was seeing. The Nexaran High Court was sending him a servant. No, not just a servant. Someone who would be his property for 5 years. His stomach felt sick at the thought. This must be a mistake, he said to his computer screen. Jai-Ho had worked as a diplomat for 15 years. He had helped make peace between many different alien species. Everyone knew he believed in treating all beings with respect. There was a soft peep, and his assistant's voice came through the speaker. Sir, Admiral Lee is here to see you. Send him in, Jai-Ho said, running his hands through his black hair. Admiral Lee walked in, his uniform perfect as always. "I guess you got the message about your new assignment?" he asked. Jai-Ho stood up. "Admiral, this is wrong. Earth outlawed slavery hundreds of years ago. We can't accept this." "Sit down, Jai-Ho," the Admiral said kindly. "I understand how you feel. But this is a very difficult situation." Jai-Ho sat, but he was still upset. "How can we accept this? It goes against everything we believe in." Admiral Lee sat across from him. "The Nexarans call it indentured servitude, not slavery. They say it's a legal punishment under their laws. If we refuse to accept it, they will see it as an insult. It could harm the peace talks we've been working on for years." "So we just accept it?" Jai-Ho asked. "What about the person they're sending? Don't they have rights?" "That's exactly why we're assigning her to you," Admiral Lee said. "You're known for being fair and kind to everyone. We can't stop this punishment, but we can make sure she's treated well." Jai-Ho read the message again. "Hejin." It said she's from a noble family, and her crime was sharing cultural information with humans. Admiral Lee nodded. "She believed in peace between our peoples. The Nexaran War Party didn't like that. They're sending her here to punish her, and to show everyone what happens to Nexarans who are friendly to humans." Jai-Ho thought about this. Maybe if he refused, they would send Hejin to someone else, someone who might not treat her well. At least if she was assigned to him, he could protect her rights and dignity. "When does she arrive?" he asked finally. "Tomorrow morning," Admiral Lee said. "I've had quarters prepared for her near your apartment." "Good quarters," he added with a smile. "Not servants' rooms." Jai-Ho nodded slowly. "Thank you. I'll do my best to handle this situation well." After Admiral Lee left, Jai-Ho spent hours reading about Nexaran culture and law. He learned about their strict social classes and their rules about honor and shame. He began to understand that for Hejin, being sent here wasn't just a punishment. It was meant to destroy her place in her society forever. "Well," he said to himself as he looked out his window at the stars, "if they want to shame her by sending her to live with humans, I'll show her that humans can be better than what her people think." He started making plans. He would treat Hejin like a guest, not a servant. He would show her respect and kindness. Maybe together they could even find a way to use this bad situation to help build bridges between their peoples. As he watched ships moving between Earth and the station, Jai-Ho wondered what Hejin would be like. He hoped she would understand that not all humans were the dangerous animals her people thought they were. Tomorrow would begin a new chapter for both of them, one that would change their lives in ways neither could imagine. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, author's note. Asterisk, asterisk. This chapter introduces Jai-Ho's character and his struggle with the moral implications of the situation, while setting up the foundation for the developing relationship between the two main characters. Hejin stood in the arrival area of Earth's orbital station Alpha. 2 Nexaran guards had brought her here on a small ship. Her blue hands shook slightly as she held her small bag of allowed belongings. She wore a simple gray dress that marked her new status. The station was huge, with tall windows showing Earth below. Hejin had seen pictures of the blue planet, but seeing it in person made her pause. It was beautiful, even though it was home to the humans her people feared so much. "This way," a human security officer said. He didn't look at her with hate like she expected. He just seemed bored, like this was a normal day for him. They walked through bright hallways. Hejin saw humans and aliens of many kinds working together. Nobody seemed afraid. Nobody was fighting. It was very different from what she had been taught about human spaces. The security officer stopped at a door. "Mr. Park will see you now," he said, then left her there. Hejin took a deep breath and touched the door panel. It slid open with a soft sound. Inside was a large office with more windows showing Earth and the stars. A human man stood up from behind a desk. He was tall, with kind eyes and black hair starting to show gray at the temples. "Welcome, Hejin," he said in perfect Nexaran. "I am Jai-Ho Park." Please, sit down. He-Jin was surprised. Most humans didn't bother to learn Nexaran. She sat in the comfortable chair he pointed to, keeping her eyes down like a servant should. First, Jai-Ho said, still speaking Nexaran, I want you to know that I don't agree with this punishment. I don't believe in slavery or forced service. But since we cannot change the situation right now, I will do my best to make your stay here comfortable. He-Jin looked up, confused. This was not what she expected. Where was the cruel human master she had been warned about? I have had quarters prepared for you, Jai-Ho continued. They are in the diplomatic housing section, near my apartment. You will have your own space, with a bedroom, living area, and study. But I am meant to be a servant, He-Jin said carefully. Jai-Ho smiled kindly. On paper, yes. In reality, I hope you will be my guest and perhaps, in time, my colleague. Your knowledge of Nexaran culture could be very helpful in my diplomatic work. He-Jin felt tears in her eyes but held them back. You would trust me to help, after what I was accused of. You were accused of sharing cultural information to help humans and Nexarans understand each other better, Jai-Ho said. That is exactly what I try to do every day. I think we might work well together. He showed her to her quarters himself. The rooms were beautiful, with soft furniture and even some Nexaran decorations. There was a computer terminal and a view of Earth. Take time to rest and settle in, Jai-Ho told her. Tomorrow, if you feel ready, we can talk about how you might help with some diplomatic projects. After he left, He-Jin sat on the soft couch and finally let her tears fall. But they weren't tears of sadness or fear anymore. For the first time since her trial, she felt hope. She looked out at Earth spinning below. Maybe this punishment wasn't what her judges had intended. Maybe here, with this surprising human, she could still do the work she believed in, helping their peoples understand each other. He-Jin had no way of knowing that this was just the beginning of a journey that would change not only her life, but the relationship between humans and Nexarans forever. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, author's note. Asterisk, asterisk. This chapter shows the first meeting between He-Jin and Jai-Ho, highlighting the contrast between He-Jin's expectations and the reality she finds. Their initial interaction sets the foundation for their future relationship while maintaining the story's themes of understanding and breaking down prejudices. 1 month had passed since He-Jin arrived at the orbital station. She sat in Jai-Ho's office, helping him prepare for an important meeting with Nexaran officials. The morning sun reflected off Earth below, filling the room with natural light. The head delegate always sits at the north end of the table, He-Jin explained, pointing to the room diagram on the computer screen. It shows respect for our ancient traditions about direction and honor. Jai-Ho made notes on his tablet. And the drinks should be served from which side? The left side, He-Jin said. Always the left. The right side is for food only. She paused, then added, Many humans have made mistakes about this, but you are learning our ways better than most. Jai-Ho smiled. I have an excellent teacher. He looked at his notes again. Is there anything else I should know about the meeting? He-Jin thought for a moment. Yes, when they offer you the ceremonial tea, you should hold the cup with both hands. It shows you value the gift of their time. As they worked, He-Jin realized how much had changed. When she first arrived, she had been afraid to speak freely. But Jai-Ho always listened to her ideas with respect. He never treated her like a servant. Instead, he asked for her help and valued her knowledge. He-Jin, Jai-Ho said, interrupting her thoughts. Would you like to attend the meeting tomorrow? Your insights would be valuable. She looked at him in surprise. But I am supposed to be a servant. The delegates might be angry to see me there. You are listed as my cultural advisor on official documents, Jai-Ho explained. The delegates don't need to know about your situation. Your knowledge could help prevent misunderstandings. He-Jin felt warmth in her chest. Jai-Ho had found a way to let her do diplomatic work again, even under her punishment. Thank you, she said softly. I would be honored to help. Later that day, they shared lunch in the station's garden area. It was He-Jin's favorite place, full of plants from Earth and other worlds. Jiho had brought human food for himself and Nexaran dishes for her. Tell me about your family's diplomatic history, Jiho said as they ate. You mentioned they served for 10 generations. He-Jin told him stories about her ancestors who had worked as diplomats. As she spoke, she noticed how Jiho listened carefully and asked thoughtful questions. He truly wanted to understand her culture. Now it's your turn, she said. Tell me how humans overcame their old conflicts. How did you build this peaceful society? Jiho spoke about Earth's history. He explained how humans had fought many wars but learned to work together. He told her about how they ended slavery and prejudice, though it took many years and much struggle. We still aren't perfect, he admitted, but we try to learn from our mistakes and do better. As they talked, He-Jin realized something important. She had come here expecting to find the cruel, primitive humans from Nexaran stories. Instead, she found wisdom, kindness, and hope for a better future. The sun was setting over Earth when they finished their conversation. He-Jin watched the beautiful blue planet turn golden in the light. She thought about how her punishment had become an unexpected gift. Here, she could still work for peace between their peoples, and she had found a friend who shared her dreams. What He-Jin didn't realize yet was that her feelings for Jiho were slowly becoming more than friendship, and Jiho, watching her smile in the sunset light, was beginning to feel the same way. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, author's note. Asterisk, asterisk. This chapter explores the growing bond between He-Jin and Jiho through their cultural exchange and shared work, setting the stage for deeper developments in their relationship. The diplomatic meeting had gone well. He-Jin sat at her desk in Jiho's office, reviewing messages from various Nexaran officials. After 3 months of working together, Jiho trusted her to handle important communications. A message marked urgent caught her attention. As she read it, her blue skin turned pale. Jiho, she called out, her voice shaking. You need to see this. Jiho came to her desk quickly. The message was from a junior Nexaran diplomat she knew. It warned about a secret plan to destroy the peace talks. A group of war-supporting Nexarans planned to create an incident that would turn both sides against each other. They want to plant explosive devices during tomorrow's main conference, He-Jin explained. They will make it look like humans did it. My people will demand war. Jiho's face became serious. Do you trust this source? Yes, He-Jin said. The sender was my friend before my punishment. She risks much by warning us. We must stop this, Jiho said. But we need proof. If we make accusations without evidence, it could cause the very conflict we're trying to prevent. He-Jin thought carefully. The message mentions they will hide the devices in ceremonial gifts. All such gifts must be blessed by a Nexaran priest before the ceremony. I know where this blessing happens. It's too dangerous for you to investigate, Jiho said. If they catch you, your punishment will be much worse. He-Jin stood up. If we don't stop them, many people will die. Both our peoples will suffer. I must try. Jiho looked at her for a long moment. Then we will try together. They made a plan. He-Jin would visit the blessing room, pretending to prepare it for tomorrow's ceremony. Jiho would monitor her through the station's security systems. They had to be careful. One mistake could ruin everything. That evening, He-Jin walked to the Nexaran diplomatic section. Her heart beat fast, but she kept her face calm. The guards knew her as Jiho's cultural advisor, so they let her pass. The blessing room was empty when she arrived. He-Jin checked the ceremonial gifts, already arranged for tomorrow. In the largest box, hidden under beautiful cloths, she found the explosive devices. Jiho, she whispered into her hidden communicator. I found them. Suddenly, the door opened. 3 Nexaran men entered, members of the war faction. They saw He-jin standing by the gifts. "Well," one said coldly, "the traitor discovers our plan. How perfect." He-jin backed away, but they surrounded her. "Your death will serve our cause well," another said. "Everyone will believe the humans killed you." "Step away from her," a strong voice commanded. Jae-ho stood in the doorway, with station security officers behind him. He had come to protect her, even knowing the danger. The security team arrested the conspirators. The plot was exposed, and the evidence was clear. Instead of causing war, the incident brought humans and Nexarans closer together. They saw how people from both sides had worked together to prevent violence. Later that night, He-jin and Jae-ho sat in the station's garden. "Thank you for trusting me," she said, "and for coming to help me." Jae-ho took her hand gently. "I will always be there when you need me," he said. In that moment, both of them felt something change between them. Their bond had grown stronger through facing danger together, but neither was ready yet to speak about the feelings growing in their hearts. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, author's note. Asterisk, asterisk. This chapter introduces action and danger while strengthening the bond between He-jin and Jae-ho, setting the stage for their developing romantic relationship. 1 month after stopping the bombing plot, He-jin received an unexpected message from home. Her sister Dalmei had sent it secretly. As He-jin read it in her quarters, tears filled her eyes. The message said that their father had started to question the war faction's views. After hearing how He-jin helped prevent the bombing, he began speaking up at noble gatherings. He told others that maybe they were wrong about humans. Some other noble families were listening. He-jin showed the message to Jae-ho in his office the next morning. "My father never spoke against the war faction before," she explained. "He always followed their views exactly." Jae-ho smiled warmly. "Your courage is changing minds, He-jin. You're still working for peace, even from here." Before He-jin could respond, another diplomat entered the office. It was Mr. Wilson, one of Jae-ho's human colleagues. He looked at He-jin with disapproval. "Park, we need to talk," Wilson said firmly. "Privately." He-jin started to leave, but Jae-ho spoke up. "He-jin is my advisor. She can stay." Wilson frowned. "That's what I want to discuss. People are talking. Park. They say you're too close to her. She's supposed to be serving a punishment, not helping run diplomatic affairs." He-jin's work has helped prevent a war, Jae-ho said calmly. "Her knowledge and dedication make her valuable to our mission." "She's a Nexaran criminal," Wilson argued. "We can't trust her with sensitive information. And the way you treat her as an equal, it's inappropriate." He-jin watched Jae-ho's face grow serious. "No, Mr. Wilson. What's inappropriate is judging someone based on prejudice rather than their actions. He-jin has proven her worth many times. I'm proud to work with her." Wilson left angry, but Jae-ho didn't seem worried. "I'm sorry you had to hear that," he told He-jin. "You defend me even when it causes trouble for you," she said softly. "Why?" Jae-ho looked at her with gentle eyes. "Because it's right. And because He paused, then said, "Because I believe in you." Later that week, He-jin received more news from home. Dalmei wrote that their mother had visited the families of the arrested bombers. Instead of supporting the war faction, she had spoken about peace. She told them how He-jin's work with humans had prevented violence and saved lives. "The old views are starting to change," Dalmei wrote. "Some young nobles are openly saying we should try to understand humans better. They talk about you, sister. Your story is making people think differently." He-jin shared this news with Jae-ho during their evening meal in the garden. She noticed how his eyes lit up when she smiled. How had she not seen before how handsome he was when he smiled back? "Your family is very brave," Jae-ho said. "Standing up for what's right isn't easy." "I learned that from you," He-jin replied. Their eyes met, and for a moment, neither spoke. The feeling between them had grown stronger, but both were still cautious about showing it. The sun set over Earth, painting the garden in soft colors. Hejin thought about how much had changed. Her punishment had become a blessing. Her shame had become honor. And this human man beside her had become someone very special to her heart. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, author's note. Asterisk, asterisk. This chapter explores the social changes beginning in both societies, while continuing to develop the growing romantic connection between Hejin and Jiho. 4 years and 6 months had passed since Hejin first arrived at the orbital station. Only 6 months remained in her sentence. The thought of leaving filled her with sadness she could no longer ignore. One morning, Hejin received an official message from the Nexaran High Court. Because of her help in preventing the bombing plot and her continued diplomatic work, they were offering to end her punishment early. She could return home with her family status restored. Hejin sat in the garden, reading the message again and again. The blue planet turned slowly below, the same view she had grown to love over these years, the same view she had shared so many times with Jiho. "You seem troubled." Jiho's gentle voice came from behind her. He sat down beside her on the garden bench. "The High Court is offering to free me," Hejin said quietly. "They want me to return home. They will give back my noble status." Jiho was silent for a long moment. "That is wonderful news," he said finally, but his voice held no joy. "Your family will be happy to have you home." "Yes," Hejin agreed, but her heart felt heavy. "Everything I wanted 4 years ago is being offered to me now. My position, my family name, my place in society." She turned to look at Jiho. "So why does the thought of leaving make me so sad?" Jiho met her eyes. "Perhaps because you have built a life here too," he said softly. "You have done important work, made a difference, made connections." Hejin felt tears in her eyes. "Jiho," she whispered, "I don't want to leave you." Jiho took her hand gently. "I don't want you to leave either," he admitted. "These years with you, they have meant everything to me. But I cannot ask you to stay. Your freedom must be your choice." "What if I chose to stay?" Hejin asked. "What if I asked for a permanent diplomatic position here?" "The station would be lucky to have you," Jiho said. "But your family?" "My family has changed," Hejin said. "They understand more now. And Dalny writes that many young nobles support peace with humans." She squeezed his hand. "Maybe my staying here could help build more bridges between our peoples." Jiho touched her cheek softly. "Is that the only reason you would stay?" Hejin felt her heart beat faster. "No," she said. "I would stay because in these 4 years, something unexpected happened. I fell in love with this station, with this work." She took a deep breath. "With you." Jiho's eyes filled with emotion. "I love you too, Hejin. I have for so long, but I was afraid to say it. I didn't want you to feel pressured because of your situation." "My situation brought me to you," Hejin said, "but love made me want to stay." They sat together in the garden, watching Earth spin below. Hejin knew her choice would not be easy. Some people on both sides would oppose it, but her heart was sure. Her punishment had led her to find something more precious than noble status, true love, and a chance to make real change. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, author's note. Asterisk, asterisk. This chapter brings the romantic storyline to its climax as Hejin and Jiho finally express their feelings, while she faces the major decision about her future. 6 months had passed since Hejin chose to stay on the orbital station. Today was a special day, one that would change history between humans and Nexarans forever. The station's main ceremony hall was filled with guests from both worlds. Hejin stood in a preparation room, wearing a beautiful dress that combined Nexaran and human wedding styles. The blue fabric shimmered like her skin, with earth-inspired white patterns. Her sister Dalmy helped adjust her veil. "You look beautiful," Dalmy said, smiling through happy tears. "I'm so proud of you, sister." Their parents sat nearby. They had arrived 3 days ago for the wedding. He-Jin's father looked at her with pride in his eyes, something she hadn't seen since before her punishment. "You were right all along," he told her softly. "Humans are not our enemies. They can be our friends, our allies." He smiled. "And our family." He-Jin hugged him tightly. 4 years ago, she never imagined her father would accept her marriage to a human. But her story had helped change many minds on both sides. In another room, Jae-ho adjusted his formal uniform. Admiral Lee stood with him as his best man. "The whole station is talking about this wedding," the admiral said. "The first official marriage between a human and an Nexaren. You're making history." "We're building bridges," Jae-ho said, just like He-Jin always wanted to do. The ceremony combined traditions from both cultures. He-Jin and Jae-ho exchanged vows in both languages. They shared the ceremonial tea in the Nexaren way and exchanged rings in the human tradition. When the official declared them married, the whole hall cheered. Humans and Nexarens celebrated together, sharing food and drinks from both worlds. Even Mr. Wilson, who had once opposed their relationship, came to offer congratulations. Later, at the reception, He-Jin and Jae-ho danced together in the garden where they had fallen in love. Earth shone beautifully below them through the windows. "Are you happy?" Jae-ho asked his new wife. "More than I ever dreamed possible," He-Jin answered. "When they sentenced me to serve a human, they thought it was a punishment. Instead, it brought me to you. You changed my life too," Jae-ho said. "You showed everyone that love can bridge any distance, break down any wall." Ambassador Chen, the head of diplomatic relations, approached them. "The Nexaren High Council has approved your joint appointment," she told them. "You will both serve as official ambassadors between our peoples. Your unique perspective will help build lasting peace." He-Jin squeezed Jae-ho's hand. Their love story had become a symbol of hope. Young Nexarens were now applying to study on Earth. Human universities were offering courses in Nexaren culture. The walls between their peoples were falling. As the celebration continued, He-Jin thought about how much had changed. A punishment meant to shame her had instead given her a new life, true love, and a chance to make her dreams of peace come true. She and Jae-ho would work together to build understanding between their peoples, showing everyone that love was stronger than fear or prejudice. "Ready to begin our new adventure?" Jae-ho asked her. He-Jin smiled at her husband. "With you. Always." They danced together under the stars, two hearts from different worlds, united in love and purpose. Their story was just beginning. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, author's note. Asterisk, asterisk. This final chapter brings the story to a satisfying conclusion, showing how He-Jin and Jae-ho's love helped bridge two worlds and create positive change.